then we'll get started.
Yeah, I'll update you.
Awesome, nobody's here.
Good, this will be a
Yeah.
fast, quick,
It'll be
easy
a
meeting.
breeze. Public comment? Seeing none.
Meet last time.
Oh,
Okay, Daniel Plaza, Mike Peterson, should we skip over these in case they show
Yep.
up? Okay, Sproles, Mike was just here, Mike Johnson, he was going over to Midway. He had a couple other things on their agenda tonight with their meeting. Ryan's supposed to have everything for the small lot subdivision. Our guy, so,
is he coming?
yeah, he said he was.
Okay.
Okay, you went that real fast. 2, we're not doing anything, right?
We're skipping over 2, skipping over 3 because we're seeing if they show up.
Okay.
So we're headed down to, we are now on lot line adjustment, Gerald Smith, and Nick Frost with the Rona Law Offices. What we did with those, this is just an update for the commission. What we did is we had that water meter in the wrong spot. It was on the wrong lot if they did the lot line adjustment. What we did in the spirit of cooperation is we offered if he wants to just pay the town $2,500, the town will move the meter and buy them out of that situation because it was a big mess. So we're gonna have contractors over doing another water line, and so we thought we could just bump them over there and get that done fairly fast and reasonably.
And Mr. Smith agreed to that.
The attorney was working with that,
Okay.
so the ball's in their court. In the spirit of cooperation, we offered that.
That's a nice offer.
Okay, easement for Storm Haven. So now we're on number 5. Easement for Storm Haven, you remember we sent a recommendation to the council. Council sent that recommendation further ahead to Daniel Irrigation and also to our attorneys. And nothing happened, so I took that easement and put in those, our recommendations, plus what the council had, and then we sent it to our attorney to send to them. It didn't go well,
Oh,
but there, that's where it is, so
so it's sitting in the,
it's sitting, I don't know if we, how, you guys wanna get into that very much? I could tell you what the changes are if you wanna know, but it was everything that we had discussed here in this
Yeah.
meeting. So it was a shared easement instead of that was the biggest thing, was the shared easement, so we did shrink it down a little bit for our water lines, but they didn't like that very much. Anyways, we closed in on that agreement date. Nothing had happened, so I went ahead and wrote a letter against the environmental assessment with some of the concerns the town had, which got sent right back to Ryan.
Thanks for that, by the way.
So that probably helped too, huh?
So they're not working, we can't go ahead with it until all these issues
The
are.
lawyers have it. It's all in the
So it's in
lawyers' game now.
process.
So the lawyers have been negotiating. I know they've agreed on a lot of the points. I don't know which ones they're still fighting over. I know that the width, that was one that they agreed to. They were okay with that after the attorneys talked.
That's
I had to get involved, but they were okay with that one. They understand the concept of the shared easement and why we need that. We're still arguing over the exact language, but they kind of agreed in concept that we both have utilities there and neither one's gonna move. Neither one is getting out of the way, so I guess we're gonna share. So I don't know what the wording of that is, but at the end of the day, we're gonna share. There was some agreement, I know we'd wanted only one pipe, so we'd asked for, we're gonna abandon the canal easement and we're gonna give you this easement for one pipe. They said, well, we've got a canal easement right now for anything, why would we limit it to one pipe? And so they were pushing back on that one harder than some of the others. But I think they were generally making headway. I haven't followed up in a week or so.
cool.
And so I suspect it's gonna come back with not everything we wanted, but maybe close enough.
Since they actually haven't filed on any of their easements, they're all shared easements technically.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure prescriptive easement is not exclusive.
No. And as far as I've seen, that's all they have anywhere.
Yeah. Anyway, the attorneys took that and then he made some recommendations, which I included in that draft that I typed up. And I just gave that to the mayor and says, here, go get it done. And so he just gave it to the attorneys. So that's where that's at. But we have put in all of our recommendations were in that document.
Grab an amendment, agenda on the.
He's got one here.
Oh.
Big crowd tonight, so we're running short on paper.
My wife broke down at the top of Harvey, so.
Oh, sorry. Well, that's almost home.
It's all downhill.
It's only halfway.
You didn't have to go to the city. Okay, as a way by information, also on that same line is Mick Kohler, ag permit. We issued an ag permit for Mick Kohler. He's gonna put in a barn. I thought I threw that in. Does anybody wanna look at that?
Where, does he live?
He is
Just hopefully he built it so it doesn't blow down.
3,000 south.
That's the long skinny one?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And he's actually going to put back here with the ag building.
oh, nice.
So,
Maybe they should hire a licensed contractor? Oh, never mind.
Where's the fun in that?
Well, the ironic thing is the old barn that they've been hoping would blow down forever is still there.
Oh, I know where that's at.
so he was gonna order that, but he wouldn't order it until after we gave him the permit. So we did that administratively. So that's been issued, you need to know about, and the water line will be going out for bid this week, Ryan?
It is out right now.
It's out right now for
I
bid.
believe it's due, I believe it's due next week.
Okay. So the bids will be coming back next week on the water line going down to the new school. I think we have a 189 we do. Leonard to Wasatch.
What are you guys looking for?
We had,
Kohler's house is?
we're still on item 4.
It's this one right here.
No, we're on 5, right?
Yeah, we're on.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't
it's
either.
right there.
It's a skinny bit.
Yeah, it is. 200 feet wide, well, 165 feet wide.
You guys that was at the public hearing, you heard us talk about the Wasatch Mobile Home Park. This is the letter that the mayor approved, and so this letter is going out. So this is just to make you aware of what we sent out to them. And you have that.
So one guy owns that whole, or one gal owns that whole area, and then he rents space to the mobile homes? Is that how it works there? or-
Yes,
Okay, I used to know.
yes, that's my understanding. I shouldn't say yes, it's my understanding. So.
He has a space and he has mobile homes there.
Right. And somebody built in there and didn't have a permit, and then,
Back in the corner, I've looked, because I try to keep track, and I
Yes.
see where you're talking about.
yes,
Were they not the property owners then?
they are not, they're a tenant. This plan report, you may have heard me give that to the council. I thought you guys might as well have that, so you can see what planning's, what we're doing behind the scenes as well as in front of the scenes. You have that? You need one of them, Ryan? Sure. Why not, huh?
I don't know what we're gonna talk about.
I don't know.
So I'll have one here just in case.
You better.
We'll clear this.
Okay, that's got those 2 items. Want to just make you aware of those. While we're on that, there's a flyer for updating the general plan training going on. If anybody's interested in doing that, you have to drive to Ephraim. or Hiram.
Where?
Ephraim or Hiram.
Oh,
It's updating the general plan, which we're required to do every 5 years. Most of the time, what happens in these trainings is it's for a bigger municipality than what we are, but you're welcome to go to this training if anybody wanted to go to that. Just wanted to make you aware of that.
2 hours south, 2 hours north.
Yeah.
Then why are they holding it in such remote places in such small towns?
The league does weird things like that. They'll go out just so they have, those people have an opportunity to have something close to them, where they're always traveling to parks, to Salt Lake. Most of this happens in the Government Trust Building in North Salt Lake. I've been to some trainings up there, but they go out and rural water will do the same thing. They'll hold these out of the way so that people don't have to travel so far.
He's retiring next year,
Good.
the water guy.
Really, somebody should.
What's the deal with Bridger Wild's agricultural building?
He's got pulled a permit for a ag building at his house. Wants to add actually, I don't think he pulled the permit yet. He just called and wanted to what the conditions were. So anything that's on that list is something that I've worked on during the month. And so I just put those on there so the council's aware of what projects are coming our way. Same thing for you guys. That Bridger's putting in an agricultural building and he wanted to know what the requirements were for an ag building. So I haven't seen plans for that one yet. I don't think he's
What's the difference between an ag building and a barn?
in a barn. It's the same if it's used for agricultural purposes. That's
Got
be
a barn
bona fide
right now.
ag.
So,
Barn garage.
just one question back on Sproul's, Tom and Vicky
Yes.
Sproul. Where is that subdivision they're cutting up? I don't have that in my notes. Their small subdivision.
It's the one on Little Sweden Road that we'll actually be talking about that tonight on the small subdivision approval, item number 3.
Okay,
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
We'll bounce back up to those. We just
Okay,
skipped
great.
over those.
thank you.
So we'll be back on that one here in just a minute.
No, we already approved them. Remember?
I just can't remember where it is.
Okay, is there anything else on that report? Do you have any questions for me? Look good? That's what I did with the council too. I just start asking for questions rather than go through it all.
Was there any, and you may have to refresh my memory on living in a trailer behind someone's house, on timing on that?
There has not been,
That you can live there as long as you want,
oh, in our code, 20-day camping stay limit.
20 days.
Yes.
And was there any follow-up on that complaint or
There was
that I
not.
gave to you?
Okay.
It says written, so maybe I'll write it. Because he's still living back there, whoever it is. Okay, I just didn't know the rule. 20 days, huh?
Yeah, our code says 20 days, and then I don't know what the deal is over there. Or
I don't know.
I was very surprised if they had drugs on them. The sheriff didn't arrest them.
Well, he didn't, the sheriff didn't go talk to him because we said, he's in his own home now. There's no reason to go. He was doing his activities over by us. So I'm sure he dropped it along the way, if he was smart at all.
Yeah, so if there's a sheriff's report, yeah.
Okay,
I'm surprised he didn't go over there, but
okay. Thank you. Early talk through.
does mix all look okay to everybody? Do they like that?
Yeah, I like, yeah.
Sits back a long ways off. I thought you'd be interested because you used to live in there.
Yeah, and it'd be nice if the site plan was an actual drawing, but, I mean, it shows.
Yeah, it's
what
like,
it
I
is,
don't know, where is it gonna be on here?
For ag buildings, as long as they write down dimensions that
Yeah.
are more than the minimum, I haven't been requiring a lot more than that because
That's fine, I'm just curious, is it gonna be straddle the old canal, or is it behind it, or in front of it?
I'll let you know. Or probably about a week after you can find out.
Yeah, Cleary, our building's a Cleary building, they make nice buildings. So it'll be a nice building, wherever it is.
Water trough in the middle.
Yeah,
Fresh
I mean, it doesn't really matter, I'm just curious.
curiosity.
I don't think that doesn't even run, does it?
Hmm?
That's all filled in up
It's
above.
built in up above, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think that does number 5. Do you wanna jump back up? Are we waiting for Mike? You think he'll be here tonight?
He said he would, but I wouldn't
You wouldn't wait?
wait it, no, it's cool.
Okay, let's jump back up to number 2.
Number 3.
Oh, we're gonna go to number 2 first, come right down the list again. Number 2, Daniel Plaza. We have, because we're such a small municipality, and Ryan's pointed this out, that commercial usually has several steps to get to. They'll usually come in, they'll pull a permit, they'll do all of their infrastructure, and then they'll come for the building permit after all the infrastructure's in. So we have this process they go through. We're little town of Daniel, we don't have that. So we have, basically, we've done a site plan approval, but we have a space before the building permit approval. So Mike wants to start putting in the infrastructure for his site plan approval that we okayed here on the preliminary site plan. So that's why that's coming back before us, is basically just to make us aware that he's ready to start on those utilities and run the infrastructure, the water, the gas, everything that he needs for those buildings. So working on the site,
And you don't need a building permit for that.
you know. And see, and that's usually, there's usually 3 different permits if you're big municipality.
Sure.
If we're doing more, Ryan recommends that we do the extra step. But where we're just got so limited commercial, it hardly makes sense to open up.
Make a big deal about it. Yeah, because the school's obviously doing a lot of work, and I know they don't have a building permit yet,
No, they're not gonna get one.
do they? Oh, they're special.
They don't need a building.
Yeah.
I see, of course not.
Yeah,
So that's another
Of course
story.
not.
The only other place that came up is the church. We were still reviewing plans on, what kind of roof, so can I break ground on the parking lot? I mean, you're talking about the trusses. Well, actually, according to the code, no, but yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. And so,
I didn't know the school didn't need a building permit.
they don't even come, we don't even get, the state does that approval.
Isn't that special?
Yeah, we don't get any say in that at all. We don't,
We won't get
We-
any say on lighting or anything.
no, we will get an inspection report sent to us every once a month. And they hire their own inspector.
What a racket. Okay, cool. Thanks for educating me.
so this is really the first time it's come up, they came up with the school and we let them go ahead and.
The church, you mean?
excavate- Sorry, the church. It would have come up with the school if they needed a permit. And then this is the first time it's come up with a commercial development. So in the 10 years the town's been around, it's been an issue 2 times.
Yeah, it's no sense
So,
in making a bunch of rules.
I
for
hesitate,
2 times.
I hesitate to waste the council's time
Yeah.
and the commission's time to come up with a whole set of rules that we use one more time and dust off in 3 years. But it is kind of a gray area.
So that code, Pam,
What's
is the Utah State Code 53A-20-108, and that will tell you exactly what they have to do to get their permit on that school, if you're interested.
I am interested, because
Okay.
I'm just curious if nothing else. I can't do anything about it, obviously, but interested. Especially the lighting, when they start doing all the lighting,
Yeah.
what they'll do to our town, since we're so nice and dark now.
Yeah, they have to meet state code, but they don't have to meet municipality code. So state trumps us on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's what this one's about. Do we need a motion on that, Ryan? Or are we just making the commission aware?
Unless there's an objection or a problem, I'm okay. I just don't want anyone, wanted to come here first so that I didn't get the, what did you do that for?
Is everybody okay with him moving forward on the utilities?
Sure.
He says building permits are coming, plans for building permits are coming any day, so hopefully,
This is out on Highway 40.
yeah.
That one that he talked about a while ago.
Yeah, it actually come up and expired and he repaid the fees
Okay.
and we started over again.
Right out there on 40.
So my,
Is he doing the same thing that he did when he initially came before us?
When what?
When he initially came before us?
Same one.
He's doing the same plan?
Yep.
With those buildings?
Same building, same,
I was on the commission then.
yeah. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
Like I said, he had a year, we extended a year, that expired, then he come back.
But the economy crashed. I talked to him
Right.
and he kind of lost a few things and
Yeah,
didn't know if he was even going to keep the property or not.
yeah, it's the same site plan,
Okay.
same everything,
And can you just look at this, because on my map, it's got some commercial and some residential. Did we make that all, because it's here, right? Isn't that it? This is 40, that upside down for you.
You're okay, you fight for now.
Here's the suburban propane. So I wrote Peterson there, so it just,
But his property goes all the way to Little Sweden, does it not?
It does not.
It does not.
Chanel's does. But he sold the portion that used to be in here, he sold that to Davis. So the Davis is on that, he only kept the
commercial piece, okay, so that's.
Peters, or Mike did?
Yes,
Okay,
So he's not using the initial plan that he brought to us because he was gonna have an entrance over here.
no, that
On
was
Little
Chanel,
Sweden.
that was Chanel. Chanel had an entrance here and here.
So what's
with the
Mike
four
putting
building.
in there?
He's putting that,
storage.
storage
Yeah,
with the,
storage units.
with the, retail out front.
No, it's
He
the
wasn't gonna
retail
have
with the
retail.
accessory storage.
That's it.
See, when he originally came to us, there was no retail, but there was
There
going
has
to be.
to, there has to be retail because you can't put storage units in. It had to be an auxiliary to the main,
Okay, so it's different than original.
because he would have never got to planning.
So
He
maybe-
would have never got here,
Well,
it just.
when we were approving it before, the original one he brought us years ago also had a house on it for somebody to live on,
So then, no, that's not the plan he's using, for
okay?
multiple reasons. There's
Okay.
one entrance in and out, there's retail with storage in the back, and no house.
And it's off of 40.
Yes.
Or-
It's right here.
And
Only off
Now, was
40.
Tranel wanting to put storage in his
his, I don't think he had storage, he just had office.
So that was all office space,
with the big doors? Because he was gonna
Right.
have the big,
yes.
Right. Garage door on each unit.
right, okay, I'm clear now. Because they
Yeah.
were both before us at the same time.
They was,
And one of them was going to have a house on it for somebody to live in.
Chanel's had,
Okay.
they remember, and he opted to get rid of that lot of record.
Yeah, because we didn't want him to do that.
Well, it was up to him, he opted not to do that,
Okay,
and it made the whole thing commercial.
okay. Okay, thanks. I'm clearer now.
Then you can copy the plan. if you want.
I'm sure they'll be coming back here soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be back to building permit.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, I'm sure.
So we just wanted you guys aware of that, if everybody's okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, we'll let him move forward on that then.
Especially-
We're waiting for a couple of items that we actually asked for when he was here before, a letter from UDOT, and until those things are done, we won't give him the okay, but once they're done administratively, we'll tell him to go ahead. Okay. The small subdivision approval of the Sprouse, Tom and Vicky, Mike was here, he had to run to Midway, because he had two big items over there on the, they meet the same night. So he came and he said, call me if something's wrong.
Okay.
So, he says that you had all the documentation for that.
Yeah, and I only have a few small comments.
Now you say this subdivision's on Little Sweden,
It is.
where?
It is in the back of Feathers.
There's Little Sweden.
So it's clear over here,
Yeah, we're-
or behind Feathers.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah, looks like you've got the road drawn in already.
All right, we've talked about this before.
I think it might have been discussed before.
Pam's had a print of, has the updates.
I've got the updates right here, dated, time it.
So that's what we're approving, is that mark.
Oh,
In the
cool.
circle. And the discussion that went along
50-foot
with it.
round pin,
So you'll remember that we
18 acres
made a, new road standard.
for this reason.
Well,
Wow,
yeah, for the town, but this
Yeah.
happens to apply here.
okay.
We
Did you ever hear that? Okay.
we didn't make it for that reason, but it
Does
is
apply
applied
here.
here, and that might have been the person
And
who
so this
applied
was
for
the
it.
flag lot standard we also looked at, which we'll talk about in a minute, the flag lot standard. But this one, they're doing a road in with 100 feet of frontage on this road. That's up to the standards of the town.
So this is a subdivision, or it's,
It will be, a-
This is a subdivision. We're taking one 18-acre lot and we're carving 6 acres out of it, so I tried to call it a lot of different things. They have one lot, we're making two. It's a subdivision.
so that's what they're doing?
It's a small
small
subdivision,
scale, yeah.
but it's a subdivision. And so they're not showing the whole, so if we were to end it this way, south is south and north
Here's
is
Little
north.
Sweden.
So, yeah, so there's Little Sweden and then we're down the south. And so they're proposing to build the 50-foot wide, give us a 50-foot wide easement. And then they're gonna build a road to the town standards, which It looks remarkably like
Picture and that you, right. Yeah,
okay,
excellent.
and since I provided that to him in CAD, I suspect that it is
It's
a
same
lot like that.
It is
So
the
so
same.
he's gonna provide that,
Copy
which
and
is our
paste.
standard,
And it's right here.
in here, to have the 100-foot, so he's got, where's it, 143 feet. So he has, he'll bring the road down to here, so we'll have 143 feet of frontage on a town road. It's more than 5 acres,
It's this.
and it's that,
It's very
How wide
odd
is it?
shape.
How wide is it from here to here, right?
143.93
So
feet.
what does a 50-foot mean from
He's-
So
This-
so this road easement continues to here,
here? Okay.
and someday may continue on. So he's gonna build the road from here all the way up to the up to Little Sweden Highway.
Where is the existing lot right now? Does it include this back here?
Yes, so the existing lot now is this, way down and back up.
So they're carving this chunk
So they're-
out of this big,
This doesn't show the houses up on the road then?
No.
no, because they're here.
There
And there's,
1, 2, 3.
there's Bates and there's Crystals, and there's Fairbanks.
I don't know any of those people.
Okay, I think Fairbanks is actually only.
That's a little
one of those
school.
feathers.
Fairbanks is where they have the
That was-
adult school.
Okay.
So how wide
Oh,
does the
that
lot
used to
have
be
to
What's Her
be
Name's house.
where the house
Not
is?
bad.
St. John's, right?
St. John, if you.
Well, it was
200
better.
Go back that
Okay,
far.
okay. So this is St. John and Beathers,
I
right?
thought it was 250.
Yeah, but
There.
St. John's never owned any of that, it was Feathers.
Okay, this was Simmons, wasn't it?
Might be right.
Nichols with Simmons?
What's that?
I think
The
that's.
one we're talking about with
Where the
Simmons?
house is?
No, I'm talking the house in front was.
Yeah.
Is it 50?
Jan Bates.
I think it's 250.
I don't know, Jan,
There's Nicole Williams.
I don't know that right either.
You know
Is there a
Crystals.
home on this piece?
So with the irregular shaped lot, it depends on how we, so if this is the lot frontage, this is the lot width is 1,087 feet. Right?
So
Yeah.
By 187.
they're building their lot right behind the existing home.
Yes.
But then do you have enough?
So how
Right
many
in
homes
here.
are on the street right
Right
here?
back, I guess.
There's one
maybe.
here for sure.
Yeah, got that one. I'm talking about right
There's
here.
Bates
I'll have
got
to
one.
review that one.
Do you
I just
think-
hate to have them
No, Jan Bates.
get it all done and then find out they can't really build
Jan
on it.
Bates.
Does Simmons?
So I don't, at one place it said
Scott
200,
Simmons was who
but it
inherited
may
it.
very well say 250 somewhere else.
Scott and,
It sounds right when you say it.
I
What's her
think
name?
it's
Yeah,
200
but they
frontage,
split,
but
right?
250,
what is her
Arlene.
name?
it's
Marlene.
more. I
Arlene.
know.
Who's Jan Bates? I thought that was Simmons.
At one point I decided it worked, but you may
Isn't
be
there a
right.
house
you know?
between them?
So,
Okay. It's
Tom's
probably just
this.
worth a minute.
Well, that would
Both
be,
of them turned around?
No, thank you.
yeah,
their
that-
whole point is to build a house, so I think you have
Yeah.
to go through this process and then say, oops.
And you said this house here was
You need to say
the
there's
St. John's
more.
house.
Yes.
Or,
Then they'll have to
you
come
know,
back.
Simmons
and
is
maybe
right
they
here,
are
don't
planning on
they?
putting
No.
here or
Maybe
this
right
is
here.
where, but
That's-
maybe
So
they
this
were
is
planning on
Simmons'
putting
house.
it
So
here
that's the one I
and
thought was
not.
involved, and it's
They
not
should have
Simmons'
divided
name.
it here and here or
But
something.
Well, I understand.
he didn't buy it, he was renting it,
They
wasn't
own
he?
this one, or their
I think he
relatives
was
own this
renting
one.
it.
I thought he
Some
inherited it.
cousin or somebody owns this one, and so getting this was a big
His mom and
deal.
dad died.
And getting
I
this
don't
part
know.
was,
What
you know,
was the
moving
dad's
this
name?
land was
Carl
easy, getting
Simmons?
this part was,
He died first and then she died.
There's a lot of
couple years
politics
later.
And I know Arlene had her
Yeah,
horses
it
out
was-
I just
there.
nodded, I just nodded my head and went, okay, that.
And the turkeys used to come
But you
along.
mentioned a lot of names, I'm not
Yeah,
sure
this-
I'm following, but, so basically we have a string, you
That
know.
that was the name they put on this.
Where the heck they gonna put that house?
Okay, but there's no house on
But
this
they
piece.
talked
There is
about
not.
it right here.
This-
And there's
If they do
nothing on
that,
this
I
one
think
either.
probably
there's
be
not.
okay.
I think
There's
we're
only
okay.
one
Okay,
house
okay,
right
well,
there.
put it up
Yes,
here.
okay, I'm with you then.
You're gonna run out of.
Not
Well,
as bad.
so we
He's
need to make
down
sure they got
because
the
Scott's still in the
setback
house.
issues resolved.
Are you sure?
Because I'd
Last I
really
heard,
get
talked to
on
Arlene,
into
was a couple months ago.
Yeah, he's still there. There's a dumpster in the driveway.
Yeah,
Still there.
he's still there. He hasn't died yet.
Well, is it owned by someone else and he's renting it?
Is this
I don't
Curtis,
believe so.
Eric, is that Curtis's?
Yeah.
Yeah, Curtis is,
They're selling it, nobody's in there right now.
Curtis is there.
How many acres is
He
it?
was there Wednesday,
His son?
last
Yeah,
week
Curtis.
when I went blue
He
station.
told me that this daughter was selling it and taking dad to live with her.
Because he can't move. He's gotten so bad, he's
Yeah,
not
well,
moving.
all I know is Curtis
Yeah.
is there.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he told, Curtis
There's a
said that
dumpster in
they
the
got
driveway and
it.
his dad's truck was in the driveway.
Oh, Curtis doesn't drive his dad's truck.
No, his was out back, his
Okay.
dad's truck was
All
in the
right,
driveway.
he told, I can't remember where he said he lived, but
And I don't know if he's drinking or not, he's eating a lot. It's just really-
So anyway, yeah, that is the Simmons property.
Okay, but that's the only house
So
there on this
Simmons-
parcel.
Simmons is the one
Even
that
though
says
there's other
Nicole
lots.
Williams.
This is a separate parcel.
Which one
And
is
there's no
Simmons?
home on that one.
There is no home on this parcel.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a
On the one we're
sentence that
talking
will
about.
Right.
Okay.
So they just won't put the road and start using
Jam
this,
baits
because
is
it's
there.
hidden behind all these other places.
Yeah, and that was his problem, was
That was
they
the
wanted to
problem.
access this as they have their kids. And I actually thought they were gonna do 2 lots while they was doing it, but it looks like that hasn't been.
What we recommend is.
So Ryan, what's,
Why you're doing
what's
it.
the acreage of this
You're going
one
through this whole
lot?
process, it's 6.2 acres.
6.22.
This one is only 6.2 for as long as that is?
Yes.
They got 18.
So he still
Why?
has another 12 acres back there.
Oh my gosh.
So what I thought they were gonna do is permit this all the way down to here
Uh-huh.
and do basically 3 6-acre lots.
1, 2,
And change.
3.
Yeah, because we
So
allow,
like what we
say,
do right
one
now,
here,
is-
six.
but-
Another 6 here and then 6 back here.
Right. So I thought they were gonna do this road down to 3,
And they're not asking.
but right now they're just asking for the 1. So, well,
Right.
2,
So
I mean, I guess by default here. So, I mean,
Would it be advisable to recommend?
These
to them
dash lines
No,
here.
that's their business.
What's the
No, we
width of
did
that?
that.
50 feet.
Okay,
Yeah,
So
it's
what is
totally
this
up
going
to
down the middle of?
Tom,
That's
he,
the
I guess,
existing driveway.
she's the
Existing
daughter.
road.
So they will
And
have
so
to put,
they're the ones
They
that,
will-
not paved, but.
They will have to build this
Tom and
In this
Vicky,
50
she's the
feet
from here
daughter.
to there.
Vicky's the daughter
And
of,
is that gonna be a
the name on
city
that
road, a
property?
county
Williams?
road, or
No, it'll
private
be a
road?
private road.
no,
It's a
It has to
private,
be
a
built
private
to-
road built to the town
It
standards.
says Buell.
So they can put a
Thomas,
gate
Williams.
across here and keep people
This
from going
says
back there if they decide
Williams
to.
Yeah, it's a
Nickel.
private road.
This one says
But they don't
Thomas
have to,
Buell,
it could be,
Thomas
people
Williams.
could drive down if it's
Here.
open.
Yes.
Here.
okay.
So if they do put a
So
gate in,
that's
it needs
the
to meet
guy
the
that's
county
doing
fire
this
standards,
is-
so it has to have the SOS,
Their daughter.
everything else.
Oh, I don't know.
Which is
So
why I
You have to
don't,
be able
have-
to-
Then
The
why
fire
is
department's
their
gonna
last
get it.
name?
which is
Why
why I
is the
don't
name
have
Tom
one.
and Vicky Sproul?
Well, that's Thomas is that, right, isn't that his
Fire
name?
Thomas
department's be
is
able to-
Yeah.
right there.
Oh,
Oh, you mean an
So-
electric gate?
him and
Yeah,
his
so,
daughter,
so
You
Yes.
can't just put a chain gate?
but he owns the
They
property
have to
next
be able
to
to
They
it.
have to
He
be able
does.
to get in.
Owns
If
a
it's
whole
not
bunch
locked.
back
So
here.
it's, so you can put a gate and not lock it if it's locked. I don't know what the rules are, but if it's automatic, it has to have the whole thing on it so that sirens open
Oh,
up.
this is off
Yeah,
of Crazy
Yeah,
Acres.
Crazy Acres.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's.
Well, remember, we already changed
All right.
this one right here.
So just to review then,
We made this a lot.
this is Scott Simmons' house right here.
Lot. We got-
This
we
is
got
the
really
owner,
crazy other than
Jan
that.
Bates.
This one was one we did approve
Yes.
for.
And this is somebody else back here, and this is a third party over here.
Yes.
Yeah, Jake Crystal, yes, those ones.
This is the.
And for the most part, they're all
Jake and
somehow
Lynn
related.
Really?
Get the land
Say,
quick.
say
And
again.
for the most part, they're all somehow related, like
Yeah.
cousins or
Maybe it's 'cause
whatnot.
the
So
kids
it's all,
live
I
close.
mean,
Okay, so there's
Need bigger
3
setback.
people
I know she
here,
got
this is a
property.
4th party here.
yes.
And this
Yeah, they
4th
already
party
gave it
owns
to the
all
kids.
of this.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
These
No,
Thomas,
they own
Toward the
this
doors.
side,
Didn't
I mean,
they own,
no,
did that the
there's
last time.
2 narrow lots here, and they own one, that's why this
Yeah,
narrows
they
back
do their
up,
own land.
is because they didn't.
Yeah.
It's one of the few homes that we actually.
it's like the dad owns it and the
collected
kids are
impact fees
split.
for.
So what we're doing is we're splitting off 6
Yeah.
acres for the kids to
That
build,
was before my time.
but.
Are the
there's-
kids
I know,
Tom and
I
Vicky?
screw everybody up
Oh,
and tell
that's
them
the-
that
that's
I
the
didn't
dad.
get
That's
to
the
the
dad.
Joe Road.
Okay, so what are the names of the people?
No clue, I can't remember.
I'll say they're up on the
That's
dirt
true.
road.
We've met them, but.
Yeah, they came in.
And the guy was
They've
telling
been
me.
in, they're next enough people, but I lost track of.
If this is who I think it is, I think Vicky is Scott's sister.
Scott's
Hey, now,
sister.
to the
Uh-huh,
town
I think
standard.
so.
Oh,
makes sense.
Vicky?
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, now that you mention it, I'll bet you it is.
So I think, okay, Van, what I was told is that Scott got the house and Vicky got the real
The
estate.
real estate.
So
Now
I don't know
that
where
you
these other
mention
two
that.
were involved in there, but this is getting pretty
That sounds
subdivided.
familiar.
Yeah, as long as they've got 5.
The good news is, we don't have to.
You have to know those things.
We don't have to what?
We don't have to know what went on up front.
No, no. But the way this sits, it's according to the city.
According to our new road standard, this meets the.
Okay, here's an off-the-wall question.
Okay.
If Vicky is family to Scott, okay, and Tom's daughter,
Yes and no.
that won't work,
Politics
that's not
change.
good. That doesn't work, because that's not the same last name.
Doesn't
That's
matter to
Simmons.
us. Does it matter to us?
Well, because if it's not family, then we don't care if they sell this house. But if they're family and they sell this house to non-family,
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's not our business.
This is actually a lot all of its own. When that got deeded over, that was a separate
Has its
lot.
own number and everything.
Yep.
how much acreage is there between the house and the house these guys want to build?
How far down did that go? It's a long ways. Thousands.
It needs code, it's not our business.
There's no
Wait a
street.
minute.
If it
There's
needs
the
code,
house
it's
here.
not our business.
You got 430 feet to there.
But if it meets code and it's stupid, then we need
then another 170 there.
But
And they're doing.
we don't care who's related
This
to
is
whom.
Brian
this
got it.
No, we don't care who's related.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'd be
it's just the
right
way
there.
that it's.
So if you remember the one on Little, on Crazy Acres we did a few years ago? I mean, it'll work, as long as
The only
everybody's
thing that
family
we
and married
have
and
to
happy, it's
concern
a
ourselves with
great
is
idea.
the
As soon as
lot
one person
itself.
sells,
And
The
the
lot
frontage.
itself and this. and
I don't know how you ever
And
fence
have
or
we
use
not
those lots.
already approved this?
No, this is
But-
the first, this is,
We advise, we give
this is the
counsel,
first,
they chose to
hired
proceed,
someone
it's not
engineering
our.
to do this.
That's right.
It's certainly
We've
happened
already
many
approved the
times.
road,
where the
No,
courts-
this is the road easement, the,
I looked at buying
this
a
is the
couple
road,
of those,
new
you
road
know,
standard.
it's 10 acres, that's great, it's 10
The
acres
town just
where?
adopted 2 months
That
ago.
doesn't work.
So what this
You
is
go
a
through mom's
road 50
bathroom
feet
and
wide,
out the back.
uh,
You can,
crushed asphalt.
Out the window.
down the window, bump that
Right.
window.
That's what that is.
Through the barn.
Okay.
So the road is within our standards that we adopted.
What is this thing here?
It's a 50-foot right away, that's what we require.
That's
This
it.
No,
is
the
the
great
old
thing-
road.
That's
This
the
is
road.
the
Existing
road.
driveway.
Existing driveway.
That's just
It's
a
just
driveway. He doesn't have to make a 50-foot wide driveway.
I
You
just
just have
wondered
to
why I
have
was
the
crooked.
easement.
So he doesn't have to put in crushed gravel 50
Yes.
feet wide?
He doesn't have to go 50 feet wide. We
Yeah.
just have the easement.
Really? So he could just put crushed gravel over this existing
He has to
driveway?
go
He has to
wide
build
as
this.
road
He has to build that barn.
How wide is that?
It's really 36
30.
feet of stuff, but
Oh.
it's 24 feet of pavement,
Okay,
or,
So 24 feet wide will be the crushed asphalt.
okay.
The 50 foot's a
Right.
right of way.
That gives you shoulder on each side of. the-
Yes,
right.
Okay.
that was the standard the town adopted.
Right, this is yours. I was just looking at it, saying,
What
but I
would be
don't.
the chances of somebody obtaining a copy of this?
Pretty good.
I'll talk to you.
Is it 90-95%?
I'll talk to you about that. Because there's an awful lot of very valuable information on there I would like to have.
If you wait long enough, it will be posted on the county website.
I'd like to have one of my little slimy figures.
How long do you wanna wait?
So this is just for our preliminary, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're not.
Is there anything on there, anybody see anything bad?
Obviously not, we're not ready for Mylars, we're just
The
looking
what?
for
Yeah.
preliminary approval.
It's a very odd shaped lot, but I guess that's what they want.
Oh, yeah. No, I know that.
It meets all our.
Meets all of
requirements.
our requirements, correct? I mean, we took care of the road thing, they got their 100-foot frontage by doing the road thing. I don't understand why they didn't do it a little different, but hey, it's their gate. They met our, what we put in place. So far, so good. Jennifer and Derek Gressman,
So this is Vicky's
Owner.
daughter,
Spool.
right? Jennifer is Vicky's daughter.
Okay.
That's the
What-
tie-in.
What's their age?
Younger than us.
You haven't met them?
Yeah,
Yeah, they've been
Younger
here.
than
they've
us.
been here probably mid-30s.
They've
Nice,
been,
nice guy.
they've been here a lot.
They have been, nice guy.
Does that help? Okay, here's this background. Okay,
So, Eric, after this gets approved, would we expect to see home construction on these lots then?
the next step will be, they'll have to get the Mylar and have the county surveyor will have to sign off on that. And then it will come back for us to sign to make it a lot, and then we'll see a building permit.
Okay, but their intent is to build a house then?
It is,
Okay.
yes.
It was last time we
Yeah.
met with them.
Yeah.
That all changes quick.
So I wanted to clarify, the last time they were here, that was their intent, but
Yeah.
that wasn't,
Okay, so have you had a chance to look at the staff report?
so really the only thing of substance there is item 2, which is, and we talked about this as a road standard, and we didn't add it because we didn't want it on this road standard, it's kind of global to any dead end. But if there's a dead end, you need to be able to turn around. And so we'd like them to dash in a way to turn around, and the way I dodged the town code is said that the fire marshal has to approve it for safety, as long as they can turn the fire engine around, we're happy.
What would you envision, not require, but just kind of
Most of them are,
ballpark, what would you, for this one, for
Most
a
of-
turnaround?
most of them are between 80 and 100 feet in diameter.
A circle?
The circle, yeah, cul-de-sac. And it doesn't need to be paved, it doesn't need the curb and gutter, but, something 80 to 100 feet in diameter so that a fire engine could get turned around and back out.
So if they were to make a cul-de-sac right now and then extend that road, that cul-de-sac could go away
Yes,
and be a straight 50-foot.
yes.
Does the circle have to be deeded or handled differently than?
Well, it will depend on if the town had an interest in not making that road private, if they wanted to keep that in the public, then it would have to be deeded to the town at that point, but it would remain private unless that happened.
Okay.
Sounds like it would, I don't know, if right away is only 50, isn't it?
Yeah, right now the right of way is only 50, so they may have to do additional right of way. The fire marshal may be okay with the driveway right there, and between the driveway and the road, they may be able to turn around. I'm not trying to make it more difficult or require more right of way, I just want to make sure that.
Well, that's what I was
we
wondering,
meet
is
safety
if,
requirements.
instead of a circle, if they could make like an L, that the fire engine could pull in and back
I'll
out.
leave that up to the people that drive the fire engine to
Yeah.
let me know.
Yeah, they really do have the final say, because they won't sign off on the building permit.
They don't like to back up.
So, that's basically why we leave it there, because they get exactly what they want.
And our town code's silent on cul-de-sacs. So since it doesn't say anything, I can't go back to Mike and say, I need you to show a 110-foot diameter circle because it says so right in the,
And other than for fire,
you know,
it's not needed, so.
and other than for fire, we don't really need, I mean, it's a private road, we don't care, other than the fire safety, so I leave it up to the fire marshal to tell me if they're happy or not.
Interesting.
Yeah, you've got some property in the same situation, huh?
Could do,
Yeah.
could do. That's not what I'm asking about tonight, but.
Yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of, you can see on that map, there's a bunch of properties that have that same issue,
Yeah.
which is why the town thought it would be wise to adopt that.
My interest in it tonight is my proximity to this location, so I'm kind of up to speed of what to expect with neighbors.
That could definitely be an impact.
Well, and what, the one thing that plat doesn't show is where it drops off of the upper, goes down into the bottoms. And, you know, it would take substantial amount of grading to get that 50-foot road over that, whether they excavate here or whether they build a ramp on the lower. You can't just go straight down off that.
Yeah, it's pretty steep right
Yeah.
up to the edge.
And what they're proposing now is all, the road stays up on the plat. So I haven't asked for, Mike asked about, does he need to provide cross sections and details? And I said, no, as long as we're up on the flats. When they extend that road off the bench, then we'll want more design drawings on
This
how-
road right now ends where the bottoms goes down? Or
Before the bottom.
Before the bottom,
really?
what I'm told. So I guess I can go measure that real quick.
And that's why that lot line.
It's my understanding is that road does not go down.
So from the middle of Little Sweden to the end of the road, what's that footage?
Because the discussion I had when they came in was, you know, do they need a full-blown road design and grading plan, all those details? And I said, if you're going over that hill, yes, because there's some
Fill
issues there.
and excavation.
It was 520 to the building wall.
400, 500, 600, about 600, 600 to 700 to the end of that point.
Well, that probably does stay up there then.
So I've been, I mean, the discussion we had was that that state, and when I looked at it,
30
I-
to there, and another 173 to this point.
And then another 140.
143 there, so so I think that it's down here, because remember, it's somewhat biased here because of,
It's just over 6. 750? Wow. That's probably right.
because the lot doesn't end here, the lot's.
Did they say?
Should talk about it.
So what I'm getting at is that the turnaround, this L shape would not be enough for a turn.
Might be.
Your son's home?
Could they make a circle like that?
Yeah, so I'm trying to stay, yeah, I think there's a lot of options. One is do it down here, and one is do it, I mean, there's a lot of ways to solve that problem. All I'm saying is I want the county fire marshal to sign off on it's okay that they can get vehicles from.
Gosh, I'm just.
Because
Wow, well, this is all brand new, isn't it?
It's a private road, other than safety,
Yeah.
I'm not going down there.
Man.
Okay.
And it's short enough, you may, you know, county may say they can back up.
Yeah,
I doubt it, but they could.
they haven't yet.
Short.
Okay, so So there's a recommendation at the bottom there, if you don't have any other questions on that. No?
Nope.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
To approve the, what are we approving?
This subdivision, small scale subdivision. And then Ryan's got, right there at the bottom, he recommends that you put in your motions 2 and 3 added.
All right, I'll recommend a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to recommend that we approve this small-scale subdivision with the addition of item 2 and 3, as well as the approval noted in item 4.
Okay, I have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Okay, that takes us right on down the list. You'll be sending that over.
Yep.
So I'll let them know what happens, and let them know what happens, and then get you, that's electronically.
I just want
Yeah, just,
to.
Okay, so that takes us down to 6. Item 6, review of what constitutes a non-conforming business outside of a commercial zone area. And this was continued, I believe that was your motion, Pam, that we continued it to this meeting. That also ties in with number 8, if you want to discuss them both at the same time, non-conforming uses. So those 2 items really overlap, if that's how the commission wants to talk about this one.
That was so long ago, I've slept since then.
Well, it's in the minutes, but I don't really remember.
I think they overlap, so I think we can talk about them both at the same time if you want, so.
But isn't the businesses' rules and regulations gonna be changing due to state code?
Yes.
So should we wait till after the town has that discussion instead of spinning our wheels on something that,
Well, I think it really does, probably, everybody probably needs to be aware of that on this commission, because it'll be coming your way. You probably want to be aware of, has anybody had a chance to go look at the legislative updates? I really haven't dove into it because we're still in veto mode right now, and the governor's vetoing, and he called special session, override. So they're gonna be, May 20th is when they're gonna do that. I've hit a few things, the 2016 legislative update comes out, you'll be able to see that. There's one here that probably applies.
Isn't the Utah Municipal Trust doing a seminar
Yes,
in the next few days on this too?
well, they will be, but they'll be ahead of the curve because they're still.
Right, they'll still say,
Yeah.
we don't know yet.
Yeah, they'll be telling you what I'm telling you right now, we don't know yet. But the leagues shall not enforce, enact, or amend, and it has a list here of those items that passed through the legislature this year. Keep going,
License home occupation.
license home occupations on that
Yeah.
list.
What does that say, marijuana disbursements?
Yes,
Dispensaries.
dispensaries.
So
We
they
have
will not
marijuana
allow-
We won't be able to regulate those.
Home businesses?
This will all be underneath state code.
Oh.
housing?
So-
Do we know what that state code's going to
Ag
look like?
buildings,
We do not, they don't.
homeless shelter.
But they are saying, you shall not.
Which means if the state wants a homeless shelter in our area, in our town, we can't say no.
That's probably more right than right now, we couldn't say no.
Yeah.
What is that?
What's that?
What is a licensed home occupation?
Oh.
Well, now you're gonna get into the state, they're gonna make their definition of what that is.
Okay, so it's not like nursing homes
That's not,
or beauty parlors.
No, because our definitions that we have in the town, we've defined it as totally within the home. Gary sent out okay, here. Let's cut through this and I'll just give you guys a copy of what ours says. Since we're gonna jump right into it.
No, it's so small.
Here we go.
Sorry. Chapter 8.
Home occupations, there we go.
And you'll see some highlighted areas in here. That's because Mr. Waite's already been through there and highlighted some for us.
That's nice of him.
I thought,
Did I give you that?
I thought OSEC said that,
Is this our?
they turned this back.
Yes.
Oh.
This is their update they just sent out
Oh,
from the League of Cities and Towns. Land use update.
I remember reading earlier and then a couple months ago.
Yeah. So that's,
So the towns no longer have any
Sure.
say on it, correct?
what's that?
The town no
Well,
longer has
once
any
the law
say.
goes into
Well, it's,
effect.
like I said, we're still in veto and we're still in
Oh,
the governor's, his deadline is over for him signing those bills or vetoing them or not doing any action. But he has called a special session next month. They'll be calling back into the legislature and they'll be reviewing a lot of these bills. So that's why I say if you spend the energy to go through that, you may have to do that twice.
What seems like enough?
Yeah, you could think.
Once is pretty painful.
But anyway, I just thought you'd get a, when you see that from the League of Cities and Towns. That's, you can see where,
Well, I'm gonna go start me a marijuana dispensary, the hell with it.
yes,
You guys can't say anything about it.
that's true.
I'm
So
with
where
you.
did you find that list, Eric?
This list is on the Utah League of Cities and Towns. If you look at their website, it'll have all these on. And it's just a land use update. It says, does your codes really do what you think they do?
And I'm guessing on the state website, you could see the text of that bill.
Yeah, and you can see that on the legislature one. They have the amendments, and I was following them really close, and then like one day on I can't remember the number now, but I got 6 updates in one day. Something had changed, something had changed, something had changed. And so they just kept pounding these bills, and I kind of lost track of them after a little while. Some of them I didn't, but a lot of them I did.
I gave up, I get those, you get 6 in a day, and anytime they change a period or a comma or anything, you
Yeah,
get
and-
another update, and they don't tell you what they changed. So you gotta read the whole stupid thing again to find out what changed. And so I read them at the beginning, and then I kind of wait till the end, or they get close to the end, and then I read them again, but I try to avoid all these
Yeah,
reviews.
this was another big change. The old way was you may, a conditional use, you may approve it, now you must. If you can get through those conditions, if they can be mitigated, you must approve it on a conditional use. Which is why I like to stay away from conditional uses. But there's definitely a place for them. Anyway, that website has a lot, but I don't know if you get into it. Short-term rentals is on that list. There's several things that are, right now, the town doesn't allow short-term rentals. We debated it, we said we don't, it's too many problems to police. We said they're just not allowed.
But they're gonna say
They're allowed.
they will be allowed.
It's a property right is what they're saying. You own the property, it's your right to rent it out short-term. If you try and, that's what, this is all lawyer talk.
Does that mean bed and breakfast?
We're gonna sue you.
Or overnight
No, it's like,
stays or ski
overnight
rentals
stays.
for the
Oh,
week.
goody,
Yes.
we're going up for the Winter Olympics again. I can rent my house out for
Yes.
this
There's a
time.
couple.
Yeah.
there's
2
one
weeks,
lady.
oh yeah.
We can.
So that might, anyway, I wanted to bring that to
Make
your
my
attention.
taxes.
So that might help on this discussion of what we're, and Pam, you're exactly right, there's a lot of issues that, there's variables there we don't know. So, I did pass you out the letter that we did have on the one that blew through the stop work order, and obviously building in the trailer park without a permit. So the permit's still required, so that letter went out, and so we have yet to have a response from that. I think we'll get a response from that.
It's just a shed under 200 square feet.
Yes.
Attached to a trailer.
So is there anything else on those 2 items that maybe, I guess as you look through that code I just gave you, and there were some things brought up about a 1 ton vehicle is allowed. And so people are saying, well, this guy has a diesel parked at his house. And so that's what it's coming to. What that 1 ton speaks
Where's
to
that
in
say?
there, where it'll say vehicles,
It's highlighted, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of the highlighted ones.
D,
Darling D.
82506D.
Oh,
2506.
one commercial vehicle not exceeding 1 ton
D.
rating.
Okay. So you have to back up when you look at that, because everybody says there's a diesel. We got a problem. What this code is doing is licensing a business in the town. So if you open a floral in your house, they can have up to a 1 ton truck to make deliveries. That's what that's speaking to. Not some diesel that's parked in the yard. The guy comes home from work, parks it there,
Right.
gets up and goes to work. That's not included
It's
in
a
this.
separate diesel.
That will actually fall under, if it's a problem, that will fall under nuisance. So it won't even be considered in the home-based business. And so people are getting those mixed up a lot. I hear that in the complaints, that they're driving truck. Well, actually,
So unless he's running a trucking company out of.
well, a
his
lot of
home.
people have their offices in their house for these trucking companies, but the trucking company is not ran out of the house.
Well, it is if you've got 3
Your
semis
business.
parked there and employees are coming there to pick up the trucks in the
And if your
morning. and-
business
Yeah.
license has that
But,
address.
yeah, if you have 3 trucks there, then there's a good chance, I'm not saying it is, but there's a good chance that they are running it out of there without further investigation. But we have 1 truck come in and park, and we have complaints say they're running a business out of there.
Can't, it's
And-
covered.
You can do that, yeah.
Yeah. But if that smoke goes in the neighbors' windows and they complain, then we have a nuisance, so.
It's
that's
also
a
illegal
different-
to take that truck and go 5 miles an hour up the road with 2 yellow stripes, solid stripes for the next 3 miles too, but that's not enforced.
No.
I found that one in state code too, because that one's been bugging me lately. If I hit 1 minute too late, then I'm stuck for
Yes.
ever.
Ever.
I mean, I've been out running and past that truck.
He just likes to drive slow?
Likes to warm up on the road.
I see.
And a lot of them do that, and you know why they say they do that? Because it doesn't impact the neighbors. They idle out and they idle down the road, and so they don't hear them come or go. So they're trying to be courteous to the neighbors doing that. I've talked to several of them that actually do that. And so that's exactly,
And it's true, you do notice a difference for those that are
You do.
just idling down and those that are just
But we need to
full.
not paint solid yellow lines for miles down the road.
yeah, yeah.
But if somebody has
Not to say I haven't
3
ignored them at
diesels
times.
there, they can have 3 diesels if it's theirs, right?
They can,
Yeah, if they're just parked there,
Yeah.
but there's some other issues where people are actually buying and selling equipment. And then it could be a state issue, or they collecting sales tax, you know. is it
But you have to
down
prove
there?
that, right?
yeah. I have to go
Yeah,
out
I was
and
gonna say, you
investigate
have
a
to prove
complaint.
that, you can't just
So
speculate.
actually, you did get a complaint on the equipment thing, and they actually have a yard in Park City. So there was some equipment that was being washed here locally, and people thought they were doing the sales and everything out of here. There's actually a whole nother yard in Park City that they sell equipment out of, and some of it has been over here. I guess he brings some of that home, so I guess he actually had pulled a permit from the town for an agricultural, no, it is agricultural, but it's a greenhouse. And so he's been working on doing excavation around it with some of that equipment, so. That issue does come up.
Can
So
you not
there's,
wash your equipment at your house?
Sure.
Because it
And
says
do it
home
enough, then
occupation
you
is
may have a
conducted
hazardous
entirely
material problem.
right, and so.
within the residential dwelling and is carried on in the dwelling only by members of the residing family.
Right, and so see, that's talking about the home occupation, but the other diesel thing has just been merged with it and is actually separate.
But like the one that my neighbor complained about, there's employees parking in the back, there's piles of junk fencing materials, there's pallets of new fencing materials. There's all kinds of stuff out back.
And I haven't been back since the snow
That would
froze.
seem not to fit this criteria.
Yeah, it's kind of, and see, the reason I'm bringing it up is I think that the problem's coming because the council, when they give business licenses, is not giving people information. And so, in case, oh, my friend's doing it over here, so now I can buy this lot and I can do it over here.